I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like...
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NHL Opinions of the Week. Now, with free agency starting today when this video is posted, but first we got to talk about the NHL Draft, Austin. And for the first time ever, Austin and I tied with the same amount of points, and not just that, on the same player, Austin.
Yes, on the same player. And this is, I don't remember if we tied before on a draft. I don't think we have.
I don't think we've ever tied.
There's a chance we may have tied on, I remember tying once on one of the predictions, but it was one that we did really, really bad on, both of us. Remember this? We both did really bad on a prediction, and then we said no one won, even though we tied, and it was probably a tiebreaker we could have done. I didn't want to give it to either of us because we did so bad on the prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what sport that was, but I just know that we did really bad.
That might have been the MLB draft.
I don't think it was the draft. I think it was the playoffs, and we did so bad on it.
MLB playoffs. It was the Rangers 2023 run.
Sure, I think it probably was, and we tied on points. But it's like, what's the point of giving one of us a win over the other when we both were horrible? So, but this is the only time we tied in the draft. I know that for sure.
And we got a substantial amount of points, I would say. 11 points. That means we got 5 players right. And then Logan, fully. And then Logan Hensler is the guy that gave us a point.
In different ways.
Yes, in different ways.
So
which we'll get to that when we get to number 23. Or number 21 and 23. But let's kind of rapid fire just the top, because it was pretty set of top 4. Matthew Schaefer goes to the Islanders. And I thought that was really touching with the breast cancer awareness. I was not familiar with that story about his mom. But that's really cool.
Very touching story. And I thought Schaefer was the best player in this draft, and he went one like I thought he should. Not only did the Islanders need a defenseman, but also I think he's the best player in the draft.
Yeah, I'm really excited about not only Schaefer, but the Islanders did a lot more picks, I believe. I think they had another one in the draft. I can't remember, though, in the first round. Or maybe I was listening to something else. But, they got another defenseman later.
Oh, yeah, also they got Victor Eklund, and then at 16, and they got... So, yeah, we'll discuss as we move further.
Yeah, but then 2 is kind of where you have Michael Misa go to the Sharks, which this was kind of, go get more offense.
Yeah, and it's hard for them to go wrong. I mean, they need so many different guys that going for the best player available is definitely the right decision.
And then we go to 3, the Chicago Blackhawks select Anton Frundell.
Yeah, Anton Frundell, this is a pick that you got right as well. I thought Frundell was going to go 4, and James Higgins was going to go 3, but Higgins fell a little bit, and I was surprised by that.
Yes, I was surprised by that as well. And then I had the first 4 picks right. Utah Mammoth select Caleb Desnoyers at 4. And yeah, I think we can kind of go right into that. Who did you have at 4?
I had Frundell.
Okay,
so
Frundell.
I had Higgins going 3, Frundell going 4. I just know he was going 6 to the Flyers. But I do like this pick for Utah. Desnoyers is a good center. I thought they were going to take a center. They just didn't take the one I thought they were going to take. Well, because he wasn't on the board anymore.
Yeah, and then that's kind of where mine got messed up too, because at 5, I had the Predators selecting James Higgins, but Higgins doesn't get selected and falls. And at number 5,
it's Brady Martin, who I had projected. So of the first 5 picks, one of the 2 of us has got it right, which I thought was pretty cool. But I was a little bit shocked by this, mainly because I didn't think that the Predators were going to take him because James Higgins was still on the board. Like, obviously, I had them predicted to go Brady Martin, but that's with the idea that James Higgins was off the board already. So when he was still on the board, when I was watching the draft, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this pick wrong because they're going to take James Higgins, but they didn't.
Yeah, and actually at 6, I had Porter Martone be selected.
So we get the first 6. One of us got the the first 6. So
yeah, we had them go. I had them go right wing. The right wing from Brampton OHL. He's 18 years old. They just need good players because they're in a rebuilding year and they're trying to get out of that rebuild. So who did you have at 6?
At 6, I had KO Desnoyers. So
got it. Okay, yeah. But yeah, no, I would say it's pretty memorable draft. Not just because we tied, but we did pretty well on the first 6 picks. And now we go to 7, where this kind of is where it gets crazy. We have James Hagan fall to the Bruins, your team, Austin.
Yeah, I was extremely happy about this, and I think that this is definitely a huge pick moving forward. We need more scoring, so hopefully this can give us an instant burst whenever he does join the team.
Yeah, and I remember hearing something about why Hagan's fell, but I can't remember. Was it because of his height?
He's 5'11". I don't think he would be height.
Okay. I think they were talking about, did you, if we got the information from the same place, do you know how many, the height, how tall, the short, or do you know if any 5'11" defensemen were drafted?
In this draft or ever?
In this draft. While we figure out Hagan's fall.
I don't know. I'm gonna assume it's that no, because you wouldn't be like bringing it up if it was the case. But yeah, but Higgins is a center, right? So it's
yeah. I guess it's not. Yeah, it doesn't seem. Yeah, there's not an explanation. It just seemed unlikely. So yeah, Boston capitalized as you talked about it. So now we go to number 8. You have the Kraken select Jake O'Brien, another center, and he's someone that they just need help a lot with forwards and offense with the Kraken.
Yeah, and this is another one that I got right. So
ooh. Oh yeah.
We got 7 of 8. 7 of 8.
7 of 8. Yeah, this is where I had Jake O'Brien going to the Bruins.
Yeah, but with James Higgins on the board, you have to go him, in my opinion. So I understand.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and then I had Mirtka going to the Kraken, who actually went 9 to the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, I had Mirtka going to the Bruins at 7 because we had obviously traded away a lot of defensemen, but we didn't go that way. At 9, this is where I had Carter Bear going, and he went 13 to the Red Wings.
Yeah, and then at 10, we have the Anaheim Ducks select Roger McQueen, who I know has back issues. That was
that's why I had him falling a little bit, but he didn't fall as much as I thought he was going to.
Yeah, and I love he selected number 95, which is Lightning McQueen's number, and it helps that he's in Anaheim.
Wait, you said he's 95?
Yeah, he's 95.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's just fun. That happened. So now we go to the 11th pick, which is where the Penguins go center Benjamin Cadell, who I didn't have selected.
I'm going at 27 to the Capitals.
I had him going at 23. So yeah, this is a high pick compared to ours. And it looks like NHL Central Scouting had him at number 21.
Yes, this is substantially higher than what people thought, but if you really like the player, you go him. So I understand it.
Yeah, and they have to start preparing for what life looks like after Crosby. And if you're this high on him, on Benjamin Cadell, just like, hey, this is someone that can fill in our offense when Crosby retires, that'd be great, but we'll have to see.
Yep.
Now the Flyers select Jack Nesbitt, a center.
Yeah, this is another guy I had pretty low compared to where he got picked. But again, the NHL, it's kind of hard to scout sometimes because people see different things that they want, and there's different fits to their team. But the Flyers obviously loved him.
Yeah, and this is, I believe, a trade, right? With the Flyers, they traded up.
Yes.
So, yeah. So yeah, if you're that confident in him, go do that. Now 13. This is where you said you had Carter Bear, or you had him being selected in the top 10.
Carter Bear at 9, but this is where he did end up going. This is also a trade, I believe. Or maybe not a trade. But yeah, I didn't really think that they were going to go this direction, the Red Wings, but I do understand getting a winger. It's just wingers can be, whenever you draft a winger, it's a little bit difficult to know how good they're going to be or how their game is going to transfer over because wingers are usually the smaller and they have less defensive upside.
Yeah, that's a great point. Now we go to 14. The Blue Jackets select Jackson Smith, a defenseman.
Yeah, this is the one I got correct. Jackson Smith. The Blue Jackets need more defensemen outside of just their best dude. So they decided to go that direction, and I understand it.
Now we go to the Canucks selecting Braden Coots, the center from Seattle. And yeah, there's someone that they're looking for top 6 forwards now, but in the future they're going to just need more forwards.
Yeah. The Canucks are maybe trading some guys. We'll have to see, but yeah. And in these next 2 picks, I really like. Islanders are trying to get better quick. Going Victor Eklund and Kayshawn Aitchison is. I don't know if I've ever seen a team trade up for 2 picks back to back, but I understand why they did it because they're trying to rebuild extremely quickly.
Yeah, and they're a team that we look at the Hurricanes always being in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were a team that played the Tampa Bay Lightning twice.
Yes,
and the Tampa Bay Lightning won both times. Yeah. So yeah, and they seem to be very high, but that did not happen. So I'm very interested to see because of course you have Matthew Schaefer. Now you add in Eklund, a right wing, and then another defenseman with Kayshawn Aitchison.
Yeah.
So now we go to 18. The Calgary Flames select Cole Reshney, and I'm interested in the Flames because they're rebuilding because they were really good with Matthew Tkachuk, then they traded him away, and now what can they do? So I'm very interested to see what happens and how Reshney affects them.
Yeah. It's a good pick. Again, it's hard to go wrong with a center or defenseman. It's really when you get to those wingers, like this next pick for the St. Louis Blues, Justin Carboneau, who this is about the range I had him going. I think I had him going. Yeah, I had him going at 23. Just how does that? Because he came from the QMJHL. Like, how does that transfer over to the NHL? And obviously, he's probably not going immediately to the league. He definitely won't. But again, it's you're taking a guy in the first round because you believe in his hype and his potential to actually contribute to a championship-winning team. So we'll just have to see how that moves forward.
Yeah, I had him going at 14, so he fell for me. But now we go to 20. The Blue Jackets select the first goaltender in the draft. And we disagreed on goalie in our mock draft. Do we have Pyotr Adrianov being selected?
I did not, but there was another goalie taken in the first round, and that guy was the guy that I wanted, or I thought was going to be taken.
Okay, because I had the first goalie I had being selected was the Flames at pick 32, and it was Jack Ivankovich, who didn't get selected. So yeah. The Blue Jackets, I believe, no, they were slated to have this pick. Yeah, this is through the Wild. So I like them going goalie, but we'll have to see how it plays out because I do think there was a difference, not just between us, but in the best goalies in this draft.
Yeah. Goalies, if you really like a goalie, you have to go for it because those can really win you championships.
Yeah, we've seen Bobrovsky Bobrovsky wasn't drafted by the Panthers, but we'll go to the other Florida dynasty. Vasilevsky was drafted by the Lightning.
Yeah, and a lot of goalies are drafted by the team that they're with.
Yeah, so now let's go to number 21. The Predators select Cameron Reed, where at 21, this was a trade with the Predators moved up with the Flyers. And at 21, I'll wait till we get 23, but the Predators traded up to select the defenseman Cameron Reed.
Yeah. This is someone I don't believe. Yeah, I did not have him going in the first round. So this is a little bit of a reach. But again, if you're trading up, you really like that player.
Yes, that's a great point. I'm surprised with the number of trade ups we had in this draft.
Yeah, there was a lot.
And then the Penguins go right winger, Bill Zonin. So an emphasis on offense in this first round with the Penguins.
Yeah, and that makes sense because that was definitely part of their problem last year.
And now we get to 23. The tie, Logan Hensler was drafted at 23 by the Senators. So Austin, you talked about the Predators needing defensemen. You had them selecting defensemen at 23. I had Hensler getting drafted by the Senators at 21. So I'll let you kind of talk about the points.
Yeah, so you get a point for the right team. You get a point for the right pick. I had Logan Hensler going at 23 to the Predators. That's the wrong team, right pick. That's a point. And then you had them going to the right team, but the wrong pick. So it's that's why we have the same amount of points for that pick, even though we had them at going to different places and different picks.
Yeah, and now we go to 24. Penguins again focusing on offense, selecting William Horcuff.
Yeah, offense is one of their biggest needs, so I understand why they keep addressing it.
Yeah. Now we go the Blackhawks. They're a team that just needs great players, but offense would be great, especially with Connor Bedard. As we've talked about just what that offense means for Edmonton with Draisaitl and McDavid, and of course I think Bedard got a lot of McDavid comparisons when he was coming out.
Yeah.
So that's just another comparison of the Blackhawks selecting a forward.
Yep.
And then the Predators go Riker Lee, the right winger. And man, a lot of multiple teams picking in this. Of course, you have the Penguins and then the Predators as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that didn't have a pick in the first round. Right? I don't think the Stars did.
No, that was traded in the Michael Grenland trade.
Yeah.
To the Sharks. And then, we have the Capitals going Lyndon Lakovich, which they were good. They were one of the best teams last year, and I think that is an influx of use. So it's probably going to take some time for Lakovich to get up there, but who knows how he'll impact this Capitals offense.
Yeah, I was looking it up. The first pick that the Dallas took was Cameron Schmidt at pick 94 in the third round.
Yeah,
that was their first pick of the draft.
Yeah, and I think he was expected to go in the first, or people were talking about him falling.
Mm-hmm.
So now we go to the Jets selecting another defenseman, Sasha Boumediene.
Yeah, that's somebody I had going 32. I did look. I had Cameron Schmidt going at 24. So that is kind of funny that he went to the Stars. So
yeah,
we'll see how he ends up. But yeah, Sasha's Boumediene is good, and I think that this is a good pick.
And now Blackhawks again, multiple picks. Mason West, the center. He's from high school, but 6'6". That is impressive. So, and they traded back into the first round to get him.
Yeah, it's not common that you see a guy out of high school, but he's from Minnesota, and that's really what it is. Like Minnesota high school hockey is just a different level of just competition compared to the rest of the country.
Yeah, and now we get to that was the Stars pick and was the Sharks pick because of that Michael Grenland trade. And this is the goalie you had being selected.
Yes, I just didn't have it at 30. I had him going at 21 to the Senators, but I did have him going. I thought he was going to be the top goalie selected, but he still went in the first round. So,
yeah, and just kind of the Sharks, as long as you can get good players, that will help you no matter what. And then the Kings go Henry Bustewicz, the defenseman from London.
Yeah. Yeah. He plays for the London Knights of the OHL, and I do like this pick with the Kings. The Kings also need to bolster their defense, so.
Yeah, and then we go to 32. The Flames select Cullen Potter, college from Arizona State, and more offensive weapons for the Flames.
Yeah, I had him going. It's funny. I had the Ducks taking him from the Flames pick at 18. So I found that, like, if I didn't make that trade or mock trade, I would have another point. But it's a good pick, and I understand why they took him. He's the guy that is going to make an impact after he plays in Arizona State.
Yeah, and then so those are the picks, and then I forgot to mention it. Did you watch the draft? Because I didn't watch it.
I watched
but
the
I've been
first
hearing-
like 15 or 20 picks.
What did you? So 15, 20 picks. That was probably 3 hours, right? That's what I've heard coming out of the draft is just how long it was.
It did take a very, very, very long time. I mean, when I kept looking, it was past midnight, at least Central Time, by the time the first round was over.
Yeah, I think the NFL draft is the only one. Usually NBA draft, but that was touchy league for me. But I heard just how different it is, and I'm curious if they go back to what it was, because the GMs were kind of like in the NFL where it's like a Zoom call, they're in their own rooms. But I heard people are not happy with that.
Yeah, I can imagine they wouldn't be, because that was very long. And I wasn't only watching the draft, but I was watching it on the side.
Yeah, so that was the final thing. Those are our analysis of the picks. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.